Visit us today for more details on the Co-op personal loan, and your tune will change.
I got some money. I got some money. Yeah, yeah, I got some money.
Henry Njoroge is a proud man for what he has achieved this far, and one can clearly see it in his grin as he welcomes me to his world. I call it his world because this is where he spends most of his time.
Extranet is a value-added service provider. And the word value-added is very important because the way the industry is structured, you have the backbone providers, and then you have the distribution channel, the people with all the fiber around to distribute the bandwidth, and then you have the service provider. So we are a service provider, and our role is to make sure that the customer gets the service the way they want. And
this is the engine of your...
Yeah, this is the cover network. And you can see these yellow cables here.
Yes.
These are all the fibers. So you have all the undersea fibers coming here, and then they go to the distribution network of the provider.
So
all the fibers.
How many now? We have 5 or 4?
There are 5 in the country, but we have 4 here.
Right. As Njoroge explains to me how his company operates, I quickly realize this is a man at the top of his game.
When you are a service provider, you have to add value to the customer. So you have to do things like CCTV, access control, IP telephony, web, email, hosting, and those are the additional value that the customer gets by coming to somebody like us.
So how much money did you put into this business, and where did you get the money from?
Initially, we probably invested between maybe 40 million or so. We were lucky that we had some bit of resources when we were starting Extranet. And most of it came from the proceeds from the Access Kenya transaction.
So there was another company? Clearly there is a story about this man, and maybe the best place to start would be at the formative stages of his life.
I was born and bred in Limuru, went to Tigoni, then we later moved to Nakuru. So I'm actually from Nakuru County.
From an early age, Njoroge was a wavering spirit, sometimes even letting peer pressure sway him around.
I went to Mango High School, very interested in aviation, then changed a little bit to architecture, went to St. Patrick's at 10, and that really influenced the electrical, because a lot of people are now saying that's the buzz, that's what engineering is. There was a basketball craze at that time, and everybody used to say, you know, the national team that is very famous in basketball is St. Patrick's at 10. And therefore everybody wanted to go there. So it was like a mob psychology thing.
But it was something special that molded Henry Njoroge to be the man he later became.
We have 5, I would say, boys in the family, no sister. We are very close to each other with my brothers in age. And therefore there was a lot of competition for resources. Even simple things like, you know, breakfast has been made, the last person doesn't get their share. And I think that is what made us competitive.
Hence the lesson he picked from sibling rivalry.
Taught me a lot to do things on time. I still wake up very early. I'm a crack of dawn person. I'm in the office at 7:30. And a lot of that is because, we always thought, sleep doesn't take you anywhere. You can't get anything from sleeping.
Buoyed by his life lessons, and after graduating from Moi University, Njoroge got himself a job.
My first job was at NCR, then I went to computer applications, then I went to fintech, then Africa Online, which became UUNet. So all those have been IT companies all along.
It was then that a seed of entrepreneurship was planted into his head.
A gentleman called Nazir, who was a then sales manager, is one who influenced me and told me, you're wasting your talent, you're good with dealing with people, just come and we move into business. And I started doing project management and presentations. And I would say that that was very good because, one, he taught me on-the-job training, how to actually put together a business proposal, talk to people, that kind of thing.
Heeding the advice from his mentor, Njoroge started his own business.
In '98, I then left fintech. And when I left fintech, we actually started with my wife a company called OpenView. And that I would say is probably my first real foray into entrepreneurship.
And just like any other business, it was not an easy ride for Njoroge.
One of the things that people underestimate is the amount of capital that you need to start a business. So you might say, oh, I'm already doing the thing, so everybody knows me, I know the suppliers, they're giving us credit, so I'll just hop over and everything will continue the same. What you realize very quickly is that the Henry who was in fintech is not the same as the Henry who is in OpenView. Now they don't want to give you too much credit.
But nonetheless, Njoroge pushed on and his company grew so much that he attracted attention from the giants in the industry.
I was approached by the founders of Africa Online. And the idea was to make a Pan-African internet group that would be in every single country. And what then happened is that I said, okay, it sounds like a good idea, very nice, fantastic, successful company. And so I said, okay, let me join them.
Once again, Njoroge was back into working for someone, but that did not last for long.
2005, that's when I went to Yale. I got an opportunity, a good scholarship, a fellowship actually, and spent 6 months. And in those 6 months, I started asking myself, what's really the future? What should I do? And I said, I think it's easier to go back to OpenView. So that's what I did. So when I came back, gave my notice, 6 months later, I moved into OpenView. And now between 06-07, we then grew it to become one of the leading ICT companies in the local industry.
Today, Njoroge has marshaled Extranet into becoming one of the biggest ICT-based company in the region, valued at some unbelievable figures.
So if I go by billing, if you remove the other things, maybe 10 million times one, maybe probably 400 million, I would say.
What's the future of Extranet?
What we have to do, which is what Comcast has done, is you have to keep improving your network. You have to keep improving your service. You have to keep adding more services. And until we do that and become more valuable to the customer, I don't see a huge inflow of people to come and enter the market, because it's not easy.
As we end our chat, Njoroge shares some advice about the business world.
If you're working somewhere, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it doesn't matter what position you are, work for that company as if it's your own company. Because, believe me, there's no difference between running your business and working for a company doing the same thing. It is the same. Number two is, a lot of people want to be absolutely sure and ready before they start a business. It doesn't work like that. Even when we started Extranet, we knew that the amount of money that we had to invest was not enough. But you see, you can't wait until your 40 million becomes 50 or 60. It's not going to work. So what you do is, you just start where you are. Feel, I'm now convinced that I can do it.
For Movers and Shakers, I am Tony Timase.
Visit us today for more details on the Co-op personal loan, and your tune will change.
I got some money.